And third time's a charm. Third time we're in the red blouse. So, okay, this will be the last time you see me in the red blouse. I'll go into something a little different next time. Okay, but I talked to you last week about groups division managers. And if your group is large enough, then that is something that you're going to need to do as a traditional group. If you are an online group, then you're going to handle this a little bit differently. You are going to handle it in such a way that you are looking at who will, because it's not person to the right reads, person to the left leads. You can't do that. But what you were then looking at is, who is going to read whose piece. And you can go ahead and lay that out. And then the order of critique that will kind of rotate as you're going along, put that in the chat box. So you can say something like, Jake is going to read Eva's, Eva is going to read Stacy's, Stacy is going to read Claire's, and then just go on through that. But then here is our critique order, and that will help you. But if you are in a traditional group, then you have to handle it a little bit differently. If you have, let's say, 7 members and under, you really don't need to break up into small groups. I say at 8, 9, 10, you do. Then you need to break up into 2 of 4 or 2 of 5. And so on and so forth as it gets larger. Otherwise, you're going to be there entirely too long. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we are about a 2 to 2.5 hour commitment for our writers so that they have more time to concentrate on writing and less time on this kind of thing. And it also teaches us about time management and just keeping things moving, because that is something that is going to follow you into publication. Publishers are all about time frames and getting things done, etc. And we're just kind of training our members in that as well. So with your group's division manager, there's been some question lately as to whether or not you're supposed to be separated by genre. You're not. I'm not really sure where that started, except that if you have a large enough group and you have people who only write fiction or people who only write nonfiction or only write articles and that kind of thing, if you want to have separate meetings at a different time and a different day, whatever, you can certainly do that. Word Weavers Orlando started this many, many years ago. In fact, this is how online groups got started. We had a group of about 6 or 7 of us that were very strong writers of fiction. And we met at a different time, in a different place, different date, each month. And then one of our members moved and we did not want to lose her. So we Skyped her in. And that's how online groups was born, was just with this, hey, this works. And why couldn't it work on a grander scale? You can do that. Why would we want you to be like mixed genres? Well, here's what you want to look at. First of all, your group's division managers want to look at how many words people are bringing. This is why the index card system works so well. And I've got photos of this and how it works. If you have not gotten that letter, please let me know. I sent it out months ago, but if you can't remember it, let me know and I will resend it to you. But the index card system works because of this. You want to make sure that you have a balance in your groups of word count. You want a balance of expertise. And then you want a balance of genres. Now, I know that's a lot to balance, but it is incredibly doable. Absolutely doable. You would not want to put someone who writes fiction by herself. You want at least 2 fiction writers if you can do it. If not, then you do want to put all your fiction people together. So if you had 3 people that came and these 3 write fiction, go ahead and put them together so that none of them are by themselves. But if you have 5 people who write fiction, kind of split them up a little bit. The reason that you want to do this is, well, like, for example, let's say you're a fiction writer and you said, well, I don't write nonfiction, but I bet you read nonfiction. At some point you read nonfiction, and some of the rules of writing, or just the rules of writing, you will catch those repetitive words. You will catch the crutch words. You will catch if something just simply doesn't make sense, like I think you went down a rabbit trail here. So even with children's books, if you don't write children's books, I guarantee you've read a children's book. You read it when you were a child. You read it to your children and your grandchildren. So you might not know all the details on writing for children, but I bet you know something. But also, I love the fact that we have this opportunity of reading other genres and saying, I think I could do that. I'm not a fiction writer, but I'm kind of seeing the method to the madness now, and I want to try my hand at it. You might find out that it doesn't work for you, but you might find out that it does. And we've had countless stories like that. Okay, so that's it on Groups Division Manager. Listen, I know that sometimes you're going to have people whose personalities don't click. This is not about personality. We're not a personality group. We're a writers group. I promise you, there will be times once you get to publication, if you haven't gotten there yet, your members, they are going to meet editors. They are going to meet marketing people. They are going to meet cover art people, etc., that they just don't jive with. But we have to learn to get along in this industry, and we have to learn to yield a little bit, a bit actually, in this industry. So that's why we do things the way we do them. We're not trying to dictate. We're not trying to rule with an iron fist. We have looked at this for nearly 3 decades, and we know what works, and we know what's up ahead. And that's why we have the rules that we have. Okay, that's enough for the red blouse, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.